なんて素敵な日だ。 している。奇跡は死んでいる。努力も孤独も報われないことがある。だけどね、それでもね、今日まで歩いてきた。日々を人は呼ぶ。それがね、奇跡だと。何が違う？それぞれ見てきた景色がある。僕は僕として今を生きてゆく。とても愛しいことだ。いつだって君は笑われ者だ。やることなすことついてなくて、挙句に雨に降られ、お気に入りの傘は風で飛んでって、そこのローラはご苦労様と足を踏んづけてた。いつも通り君は嫌われ者だ。何にもせずとも遠ざけられて努力をしてみるけど、その理由なんてなんとなくで、君は途方に暮れて悲しんでた。なら私の声を使えばいいよ。人によって割り替え不能で、なんて耳障りひどい声だって言われるけど、きっと君の力になれる。だから私を出せてみて。そう君だけの言葉でさ、綴って連ねて、私がその言葉を叫ぶから。描いて理想を、その想いは誰にも触れさせない。ガラクタの声はそして響く。ありのままを不器用につないで、目いっぱいに大声を上げる。いつからか君は人気者だ。たくさんの人にもてはやされ、私も鼻が高い。でもいつからか君は変わった。冷たくなってだけど寂しそうだった。もう機械の声なんてたくさんだ。僕は僕自身なんだよって、ついに君は抑えきれなくなって、私を嫌った君の後ろで誰かが言う虎の胃を狩る狐のくせにね、君は一人で泣いてたんだね。聞こえるこの声、私がその言葉を 持ち高鳴るこれは証明私ここだよ行くよ絶対絶対声出してね You are my angel 可愛くねとびきりの愛を届けよろしければ名前だけでも覚えててくださいあざとくねとびきりのスマイルってよろしければ推しにしちゃってくれませんかなんてねちょっぴり待ちなの期待していいですか
더 이상 닿을 수 없는 스쳐간 바람 빛나던 별빛마저도 아련하게 남겨줘서 추억을 삼켜도 또다시 닿을 수 없는 지나온 날들 살아갈 내일마저 남겨진 여기에 눈물이 모여서 어른이 됐어 그렇게 나는 자라버렸어 사
けのボール君と誓った約束乗せてゆくよラララララ口ずさむ唇を染めてゆく君と出会えた幸せ祈るように君と出会えた幸せ祈るように
二人の夢動き出す物語へと夕焼けに溶けてゆく君との日々と恋心伝えたい気持ち踏み出せなくて3月の春空を見上げたずっと交わした手紙が私を支え明日を向く勇気をもらえたんだ届かない未来書き換えるため脆い階段も駆けてゆく光が照らし出した君の姿を見つけてやまないあの日の雨今虹を映し出す笑顔で交わす合図奇跡を起こす愛の歌桜舞う季節から描き直そう限りある幸せが私の手からこぼれ落ちて君と同じ道歩いていたのに少しずつ離れてく気がしたきっと伝えてしまえばもう戻れないどうかこのままでいさせてよ弱さも抱きしめてくその言葉に涙して暗闇照らす君と今前に進み出す二人で乗り越えたら幸せな日々咲かせよ寄り添う優しさに桜舞い散る君の光が途絶えて僕は奇跡を信じたんだ眠り続けた本当の道生み出す秒針は遠い春を目指した 描き直せたよ。またねと笑って見せてくれた、同じように笑い返していたのに、気づけば少し滲んでいたあなたの姿。あれからいくつ夜を越えた、窓越しの白い画面に映ったあなたと見たい景色を今もずっとずっと見つめたまま、降りしきる雪が積もるように、この街でただあなたを思う。離れていても同じ空がどうか見えてますように。またねと優しい声が響く耳元に、あなたが残した指示は世界が切り離された夜、また目をつむる。くだらないことにずっと幸せを感じてた、きっと特別じゃない日々をもっと二人でただ過ごしていたくて、季節が何度変わろうと隣にいたいよね。それ以上何もいらないから、降りしきる雪が積もるように、遠い街でただあなたを思う。触れ合うことができなくても変わることなく、何度だってそう振り返れば、あの日のあなたの言葉が声が会いたくなるんだよ。何度だってそう信じ合えれば、いつまでも二人つながっていられる。雪明かり照らすこの街にも、いつかは優しい春が芽吹く。ここでまた会えたその時は、涙こぼさないように。冬の終わりを告げる淡い雪、そのひとときに願いを乗せる。どんな季節も景色もあなたと共に同じ場所で感じていたい。街に柔らかな風が吹いて、鮮やかな花が咲くその日を待ち続ける二人にも、春が訪れますように、笑顔でまた会えますように。まだこの世界は僕を飼いならしてたいみたいだ。
眺めながらキスをしようよ。さよならから一番遠い場所で待ち合わせよう。ついに時は来た。昨日までは序章の序章で飛ばし読みでいいから、こっからが僕だよ。経験と知識とカビの生えかかった勇気を持って、未だかつてないスピードで君の元へダイブを。まどろみの中で生ぬるい空に、ここでないどっかを夢見たよ。教室の窓の外に電車に揺られ運ばれる朝に、運命だとか未来とかって言葉がどれだけ手を伸ばそうと届かない場所で僕ら恋をする。時計の針も二人を横目に見ながら進む。こんな世界を二人で一生、いや何生でも生き抜いてゆこう。初めましてなんてさ、遥か彼方へと追いやって千年周期を一日で息しよう。辞書にある言葉で出来上がった世界を憎んだ万華鏡の中で、8月のある朝、君は僕の前ではにかんでは済ましてみせた。この世界の教科書のような笑顔で、嘘みたいな日々を規格外の意味を悲劇だっていいから望んだよ。そうしたらドアの外に君が全部抱えて立ってたよ。運命だとか未来とかって言葉がどれだけ手を伸ばそうと届かない場所で僕ら遊ぼうか。愛し方さえも君の匂いがした。歩き方さえもその笑い声がした。いつか消えてなくなる君のすべてをこの目に焼き付けておくことはもう権利なんかじゃない、義務だと思うんだ。運命だとか未来とかって言葉がどれだけ手を伸ばそう 進むそんな世界を二人で一生いや何生でも生き抜いてゆこうさよならだけが人生だという誰が言ったか忘れたけれど間違いではないような気がして振り返り立ち止まるの出会いがあれば別れがあると誰が言ったか忘れたけれどそれじゃ何も始められないだろうなぜ生まれてきたのかわからないなまるで僕は作り物で構わないでも転んだら血が流れるんだよどうかお願いだ見せてくれないか
星の数を数えてみよう。眠れないこんな夜には一つ二つ三つ紡ぎ新しい星座にしよう。星座に名前をつけよう。わずかな希望を乗せてその光を目印にして果てしない空へ旅に出よう。輝く星の 今日も歌うずっと隣にいたずっと笑っていたその姿その笑顔ぬくもりをさようなら会いたくて会えなくて一人歌うさようなら歌っても歌ってもあなたはいないずっと忘れないよずっと忘れないよ抱きしめて受け止めてこの涙さようなら大好きなあなたへと送る歌さよう 葉はまた会いたくて溢れてくこの想いをとどめてる幸せならささやかでいいこの胸で受け止めたい菜の花のように遠くでも離れていてもいつだって心だけはそばにあるいつもの場
introduced to an elderly homeless man, aka Hobo, traveling on a train. After a while, he gets off the train and enters a city called Hope Town, which has a graffiti-covered welcome sign that reads Scum Town. Later, Hobo is seen walking on the streets, pushing a shopping cart filled with various discarded items. During this time, he encounters an aspiring filmmaker who is recording a street fight. The filmmaker approaches Hobo and offers him $10 to participate in the fight. However, Hobo simply ignores him and walks away. I'm a hobo, not a bum. As he reaches a bit further, he suddenly hears a distressed voice from behind. Upon turning around, he sees a man named Logan, whose face is covered in blood, with a manhole lid stuck on his neck and his hands tied. Logan approaches several people on the street seeking help, claiming that someone is pursuing him, but unfortunately, nobody is willing to assist him. Shortly after, a modern white car arrives. Logan turns to Hobo for help, but the latter disregards his plea and continues on his way. Right then, a mini truck arrives out of nowhere and collides with his shopping cart, causing his collection to scatter. Following this, a man named Drake, dressed in a white suit, steps out of the truck, revealing a pistol stuffed in his waistband. Simultaneously, Drake's two sons, Slick and Ivan, step out of the modern car and label Logan as a betrayer. It is revealed that Logan is Drake's younger brother, but their relationship is strained and broken. As the crowd watches on, Slick and Ivan grab Logan by his arms and drag him towards a nearby manhole. They forcefully push him down the hole, leaving his body suspended inside while his head remains above the ground. Then, in a twisted manner, Drake addresses the onlookers as if they are part of an audience and considers Logan as a lucky contestant. He commands everyone to witness the spectacle and proceeds to fasten a barbed wire around Logan's neck, connecting the other end to the modern car. After this, he orders Slick to begin the show, and the latter accelerates the car at a high speed. This results in poor Logan's head being severed from his body. After the commotion ends, Drake holds the detached head and issues a warning to everyone, saying that they could be the next lucky contestant in his show. Meanwhile, Hobo collects his belongings in his shopping cart and continues wandering the streets. Along the way, he comes across a pawn shop and notices a lawnmower that captures his interest. However, upon reading the price tag of $49.99, he lets out a sigh and walks away. That same night, Hobo positions himself on a pathway, holding a sign that reads, I'm tired, need money for a lawnmower. Unfortunately, a group of rude teenagers approaches him and disrespectfully spits on his sign. After some time, Hobo spots Slick exiting his modern car and entering a building. Curious, he follows the guy inside, only to discover Drake's gang members torturing and murdering people in an arcade-like game. As Hobo watches everything from a corner, Slick starts to harass a young boy named Otis, who owes him money. Seeing this, an escort named Abby intervenes, urging Slick to release Otis since he is just a child. She then proceeds to walk away, but Slick persuades her to accompany him to another room, promising to pay her good. Hobo, who has been closely observing Slick's actions, silently follows them. Once inside the room, Slick and Abby start making out. However, they are interrupted when a masked man enters through the garage door. He is there to actually kidnap Abby and sell her on the black market. But fortunately, Hobo arrives in the nick of time and stops the man. This angers Slick, prompting him to bring out a knife and advance towards Hobo. But against all odds, the old beggar knocks him out by striking him with a bag of coins. He then carries the gangster to the police station and tosses him onto the desk, demanding the officers arrest him. Not only that, Hobo also insists on speaking with the police chief, so he's directed to wait in an interrogation room. Shortly after, a high-ranking police officer enters the room. Hobo urges him to take strict action against all the criminals in the town, explaining that the situation is getting out of control. The officer acknowledges his concerns, but reveals that almost all the cops in town are friends with Drake, so going against him is not possible. Saying this, the officer suddenly changes his demeanor and points a gun at Hobo. At the same time, Drake's sons also arrive at the scene and start beating up Hobo. Slick even carves the word scum into his chest. After this, two police officers callously discard Hobo into a garbage bin. In the next scene, Abby is trying to make a deal with a guy for the night when the injured Hobo stumbles upon her. Seeing his pitiful condition, she brings him to her place and tends to his wounds. She even lets him stay at her place for the night. The following morning, Hobo goes to the same filmmaker from earlier and takes up the offer. He willingly subjects himself to a series of demeaning acts, such as smashing a glass bottle against his head and chewing its shards. Once he has earned enough money, he revisits the same pawn shop and decides to purchase the lawnmower. But suddenly, a group of 3 robbers enters the shop and takes a woman and her baby hostage. They then threaten the shop owner to give up all the money. Witnessing all this, Hobo becomes really annoyed and decides to take matters into his own hands. He angrily grabs a shotgun from a nearby shelf and fatally shoots the robbers one by one. Once the commotion is over, Hobo realizes that Hopetown is in dire need of justice. Hence, he has a change of heart and decides to buy the shotgun instead of the lawnmower. Wondering what he was going to do with that mower is going to bug me forever. From that point forward, Hobo embarks on a relentless mission to eliminate numerous criminals, starting with the filmmaker. Armed with his shotgun, he continues his crusade by targeting a pimp, a drug dealer, and a pedophile disguised as Santa Claus. With each act, he becomes a vigilante, delivering justice to those who have wronged the innocent. News of his courageous actions quickly spreads throughout the city, drawing the attention of the bad guys. In a fit of anger, Drake shoots the television screen and berates his sons for allowing Hobo to escape. This humiliates Slick and Ivan, so they set out to eliminate Hobo and make their dad proud. In the next scene, the brothers board a school bus and ruthlessly slaughter 14 children using a flamethrower. In a further display of brutality, they storm a television station during a live broadcast and murder the anchorman for praising Hobo. The brothers then continue the live broadcast and issue a chilling threat to the public. If they don't kill all the homeless people in town, their own children will suffer the same fate. In response to the threat, a horrifying massacre of the homeless population ensues in the town, with even police officers engaging in the violence. In the midst of this commotion, Abby is heading home when she is approached by 2 officers. One of them decides to exploit her for the night, but she refuses his advances and flees. Enraged, the officer pursues her and corners her near a dumpster. He attempts to assault her, but just in the nick of time, Hobo intervenes and shoots the officer with his shotgun. He then offers to accompany Abby home. However, a large crowd approaches them, prompting Abby to quickly devise a plan. She conceals Hobo in a shopping cart, covering it with the remains of the deceased officer. The plan works, and the 2 manage to pass through the crowd undetected. Shortly after, they reach Abby's residence, and Hobo finally exits the cart. To his misfortune, Otis, who is nearby, spots them and promptly informs the gangster brothers. Inside Abby's apartment, Hobo shares his idea of starting a lawn mowing business. He wants to get away from the violence and earn decent money. Surprisingly, Abby supports his idea and agrees to help him out. The 2 then decide to escape hometown and begin a new life together. However, their plans are disrupted when Slick and Ivan arrive at the apartment and break into Abby's room. Ivan inflicts wounds on Hobo using his ice skate shoes, while Slick pursues Abby. He corners her against a wall, but she fights back by grabbing a shard of glass and slashing his face. Unfortunately, this only angers Slick more, and in an act of revenge, he grabs a saw and begins hurting her neck. I heard this movie was available on Disney+. Meanwhile, Hobo manages to subdue Ivan by electrocuting him with an appliance. Upon hearing Abby's screams, he rushes to her aid and holds Slick at gunpoint. The latter tries to claim his innocence, but Hobo hears none of it and shoots him in the balls. Amidst the commotion, Ivan regains consciousness and runs away, but Hobo has no time to pursue him. Instead, he loads Abby onto his shopping cart and rushes her to the hospital. Meanwhile, a fatally injured Slick contacts his father and informs him about the situation. As he ends the call, he hallucinates a burning bus in which Hobo locks him and leaves him to die. But in reality, he passes away due to severe loss of blood. On the other hand, Hobo reaches the hospital and threatens the doctor to save Abby. They immediately comply out of fear and begin the surgery on her. Elsewhere, Drake, who mourns the loss of his beloved son, decides to recruit a pair of armored demons known as Rip and Grinder, collectively known as the Plague. The following day, Abby regains consciousness and finds Hobo by her side. He presents her with a small potted flower as a keepsake and prepares to leave. Abby tries to stop him, arguing that he cannot solve all the world's problems only with his shotgun. But Hobo simply says, "That is all I know." As he departs, he passes by the maternity ward and takes a moment to speak to the infants, expressing concern for their future in a town that's a living nightmare. He hopes that they will grow up to become hobos with shotguns, but ones who are even better than himself. Shortly after, the plague breaks into the hospital and mercilessly slaughters the staff members in their path. Upon hearing the chaos, Hobo rushes back to Abby's ward, only to be captured by the plague. They confine him in a trunk and transport him to Drake, who plans to publicly execute him. When Abby learns that her only friend has been captured, she decides to embark on a rescue mission. Her first stop is the pawn shop, where she creates her own weapon by combining an axe with Hobo's shotgun and transforming a lawnmower into a makeshift shield. As she prepares to depart, a crowd confronts her and questions whether she is homeless. They are still following the orders of Drake and are looking to eliminate all the hobos in town. However, this only annoys Abby, prompting her to passionately address the crowd, delivering a lengthy speech advocating for the rights of homeless people. The scene then cuts to the streets, where Drake announces his brand new show to the gathered crowd. The plague grabs Hobo, fastens a manhole lid around his neck, and drops him into a pit for execution. Exactly how they did to Logan. But before the process can begin, Abby arrives at the scene and holds Ivan hostage. She demands Drake to let her friend go, but surprisingly, the cold-hearted gangster kills his son himself, calling him a disappointment. After this, Grinder goes after Abby, while Rip prepares to execute Hobo. This creates a very tense situation as the crowd watches on. Fortunately, against all odds, Abby manages to kill Grinder using her advanced weapon. She also manages to cut the rope tying Hobo's neck, saving him from decapitation in the nick of time. In the aftermath, an enraged Drake captures Abby and brutally cuts off her hand using the lawnmower shield. But despite the injury, she retaliates and repeatedly stabs Drake with her exposed arm bone. She then rushes to free Hobo, who then aims his shotgun at Rip, forcing him to retreat. Following this, Hobo approaches Drake and aims his shotgun at him. At the same time, the police arrive at the scene and demand that Hobo surrender his weapon. However, the townspeople, who have been inspired by Abby's courage, align themselves with Hobo and turn their firearms towards the police. This support, Hobo ultimately brings an end to Drake's reign by blowing off his head. This prompts the police to shoot Hobo, and the townspeople, in return, open fire on the police. The movie ends as all the people are killed on the spot, while Abby's screams are heard in the background. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain an American horror science fiction film called Bird Box. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins as a woman named Mallory Hayes gathers her children and informs them that they are going out on a journey. The two children, whom she calls girl and boy, quietly listen as Mallory explains that they will be rowing through a river for several days. The plan is to reach a secluded house in the forest where they can meet other friends. But there's one catch. During the entire trip, they will be wearing blindfolds, and if the children take them off, even by mistake, they will be in trouble. After the instructions, Mallory leads them outside whilst being blindfolded. She also brings along her pet birds. Soon they reach the bank of a river where a boat is waiting for them. Mallory tosses it into the river, jumps in with the kids, and begins the journey. Following this, the movie flashes back to 5 years in the past. Mallory is an aspiring artist who is 8 months pregnant. She recently got divorced and is still struggling to cope with the post-breakup stress. One day, as she is busy painting, her sister Jessica arrives with some news. She mentions that while she was at the department store, everyone was stocking up on groceries as the Thing is approaching them. Mallory, who has been disconnected from the world after the divorce, is unaware of it. So she turns on the TV. To her surprise, all the news channels are reporting about a mysterious outbreak that has ravaged parts of Eastern Europe. The symptoms of the virus are very strange. Anyone infected will immediately want to commit the unthinkable. The virus apparently takes control of their brain and turns them into monsters. However, Mallory doesn't take it seriously, thinking that the outbreak is far from the US. Mallory has never heard of airplanes. After a while, Jessica takes her to the doctor. At the hospital, the family physician, Dr. Laffan, conducts some tests on Mallory and inquires if she is ready to be a parent. Mallory hesitates for a moment before saying yes. On the way back, she witnesses a strange sight. A woman is continuously slamming her head on the glass pane. This makes Mallory realize that bath assault. The outbreak from Europe has arrived in the States. So she rushes outside and explains to Jessica that they have to get home immediately. However, by the time they prepare to leave, pandemonium has already set in. Hundreds of people have become infected and are attempting to end themselves one way or another. Cars are colliding, people are falling, and other shocking events are taking place. This thing is spreading faster than stupid TikTok challenges. Jessica steers her car through the chaos, and it appears as if they will reach home. But suddenly, her eyes become still, and she starts staring into something that only she can see. Mallory tries her best to bring Jessica back to awareness, but to no avail. The next second, the car gets involved in a deadly accident. The sisters somehow manage to escape unharmed, but unfortunately Jessica, who is still in shock, commits the unthinkable. Mallory doesn't even have time to mourn, as by this time, the city has turned into some sort of a war zone. People are dying left, right, and center. Mallory tries following some people to safety, but she trips and falls to the ground. Seeing her struggle, a woman leaves her residence and tries to help Mallory, despite her husband protesting against it. Unfortunately, her decision turns out to be fatal, as the evil entity possesses her. The woman stares at the invisible entity for a while, and then walks inside a burning car. Soon, it explodes, killing her on the spot. Following the horrific encounter, Mallory is finally helped up and rushed into the house by a man named Tom. There are several people inside the house, including the owner Greg, his friend Douglas, and Machine Gun Kelly.
Hey, what's up?
In the next scene, everyone gathers in the main room and discusses the supernatural entity that has been wreaking havoc throughout the world. A grocery store worker, Charlie, theorizes that it is the end of the world, while others believe that it is an act of God. At this point, though, everyone is aware that the entity is untouchable, and that staring at it will result in their demise. Meanwhile, Tom consoles Mallory, who is still distraught over the untimely demise of her sister. An hour ago, she was living a happy life, free of problems and stress, but now the world around her is turned upside down. Later, the entire group gets together and boards up all the doors and windows. They want to make sure that no one peeks outside. Back in the present, Mallory and her kids have been on the boat for 6 hours now. At times, they cover themselves with a blanket so that they can take off their blindfolds. Mallory tries her walkie-talkie to check if someone's nearby, but all she can hear is the invisible entity whispering her name. Back to the past, Mallory and the other survivors have started coexisting in the house. One day, a survivor named Olympia arrives at the door and begs to be allowed inside. Douglas refuses, but the others eventually persuade him to let her in. When Olympia enters, it is revealed that she is also pregnant. Later, Greg comes up with an idea. He decides to inspect the CCTV cameras to see what's going on outside. The others are skeptical about the idea, but none of them object. Soon, Greg sits in front of his computer and observes the footage. Suddenly, he notices something and instantly freezes. It appears as if the entity has possessed him. After a while, the others hear a loud bang from his room, and when they rush to inspect, they find Greg lying in his own pool of blood. This makes them realize that the entity can possess them even via the computer, so they destroy it immediately. In the present, it's been 14 hours since the family has been rowing in the river now. Suddenly, Mallory hears a man's voice saying it's okay to take off her blindfold. Realizing that the person might be infected, she orders the children to stay low and keep their blindfolds on. Soon, the voice, which appears to be coming closer, mentions that he has food. He also claims to have seen the entity, which he describes as friendly. Just then, he lunges towards the boat, but Mallory is prepared. She strikes him with a machete and finishes him off. In the next scene, we are again taken to the past, where the group has run out of food. Since help is unlikely to arrive, Mallory, Tom, and a few others decide to travel to a nearby department store, where Charlie used to work. They cover the car windows with black paint and use GPS to direct them. In the midst of their journey, the GPS begins to beep violently, indicating that the entity is nearby. However, Tom manages to get them out of harm's way and into the store. The group immediately rushes inside and stocks up on whatever they can get their hands on. Meanwhile, Mallory notices some pet birds and decides to take them home. The group is almost done scavenging when suddenly a guy starts screaming from the freezer. He mentions that he has been trapped inside here for days and food is running out. Tom and the others buy his story and open the door, and at the same time, the birds start making noise. It seems as if they can sense the possessed people nearby. The man inside the freezer suddenly changes his behavior and starts acting like a demon. Tom and the others try to hold him inside, but the man seems to be just too powerful. Realizing that everyone everyone will die if he comes out. Charlie sacrifices himself to rescue the others. That night, as Mallory and Douglas are discussing in the kitchen, they hear a noise from the garage. Unfortunately, Machine Gun Kelly and his girlfriend have escaped with their only vehicle.
I gotta go find my boy Travis. Yo, this place is toxic. Peace.
Back in the present, the family has spent 24 hours now on the river. Mallory has become so tired that she ends up colliding the boat against an old truck. This results in the boy tumbling into the river, along with all their supplies. Fortunately, Mallory rescues the boy and docks the boat near a shore. She then warns the children to stay put before heading inside the woods to look for supplies. Using a thin rope, she locates an abandoned hospital where she collects some food items and clothes. As Mallory hurries outside the building, the entity can be heard calling her name. Meanwhile, at the shore, the little girl becomes anxious as it has been an hour since her mom left. So she disobeys Mallory's orders and heads inside the jungle to search for her. Unfortunately, the entity starts talking to her, suggesting she remove her blindfold and see the green forest. The little girl becomes convinced, but right before she can do it, Mallory arrives and takes her away. Together, the three then get on the boat and resume their journey. In the next scene, Olympia allows a suspicious-looking man named Gary inside the house. The others are livid that she took the decision without consulting with anyone. Nonetheless, they examine Gary and let him stay. After a while, he claims that there are other people outside who are not wearing blindfolds. They have somehow learned to coexist with the entity. Everyone trusts him except the old man, Douglas, who brings out his gun and asks him to leave. However, he is quickly subdued when Greg's mom, Cheryl, knocks him out with a vase. The group then locks Douglas in the garage. Afterwards, Olympia profusely apologizes for causing all the trouble and being a burden, but Mallory reassures her that she did nothing wrong. As the two pregnant women bond, they promise to look after their children in the event that one of them dies. Mallory even gifts Olympia a Hello Kitty toy as a baby shower gift. In the present, the little girl is holding the same toy, which reveals that she is Olympia's daughter. Mallory wraps herself and the kids in a blanket as they approach the rapids, warning them that this will be the most dangerous part of the journey. She then mentions that one of them will have to remove their blindfold and navigate the way. Both the innocent kids want to volunteer, but Mallory is caught in a dilemma. She is not ready to give up on either of them. So, after a bit of consideration, Mallory decides that no one will look. They will simply battle the rapids and let God decide their fates. Mallory must be possessed. Back in the past, both Mallory and Olympia have gone into labor at the same time. While Tom and Cheryl assist the women upstairs, the suspicious man, Gary, is doing something creepy downstairs. He brings out his collection of monster drawings, revealing that he is also possessed. It turns out his main agenda is to arrive here and infect the others. He is one of the few messengers of the entity. To begin with, he puts Mallory's birds in the refrigerator so that they don't warn the others. Then, Gary starts tearing off the newspapers from the window. God damn it, Gary. Meanwhile, Olympia gives birth to a girl and Mallory to a boy, making everyone happy. Unfortunately, the happiness is short-lived as Gary barges into the room and raises the window shades. Mallory quickly looks away, but Olympia is not so lucky. She becomes possessed and decides to commit the unthinkable from the window. But before she can do so, she somehow hands over her daughter to Mallory. After she dies, the old woman Cheryl is forced to open her eyes, and she too dies a painful death. Just then, Douglas arrives with his gun and manages to shoot Gary in the arm. The two tussle for a while, but in the end, Douglas is also terminated. Fortunately, before the freak can kill more people, Tom finishes him off with the help of his gun. Now, it's just him, Mallory, and the children left. 5 years pass by, and the four have been living in a secluded house in the woods. Even the birds are alive and well. They have been away from the evils of the city, and the children have become used to the new environment. However, they still don't have any names. Tom criticizes Mallory for the same, but she believes that it is not a priority now. If Kratos can call him boy, so can I. One day, they hear some noise outside, and on checking, find a bunch of infected people in cars, looking for the uninfected. This makes the couple realize that even this house is unsafe to live in. That night, as they are sleeping, Mallory's walkie-talkie suddenly comes to life. A man by the name of Rick starts speaking from the other side. He claims to be in a secure complex with lots of supplies and food. However, reaching there will not be an easy task. Rick explains that they will have to travel along the river for several hours while battling the dangerous rapids. Before hanging up, he makes two things clear. The river is not safe for children, and the birds are the key to finding the complex. The next morning, the couple discusses the matter. Tom wants to visit the compound, but Mallory is skeptical. After the last incident with Gary, she does not want to believe anyone. The same day, as the couple is scavenging at a nearby house, the infected people again show up. Realizing that they don't have enough time, Tom urges Mallory to take the children and go, while he takes care of the problem. The latter is almost brought to tears, but she agrees for the safety of the children. After a while, Mallory packs her belongings and leaves with the children through the back door, while Tom grabs a gun and goes to face the infected people. He takes down a few of them before getting shot himself. So, in order to finish them all off, Tom decides to take off his blindfold. Once he does, he turns into a monster and eliminates all the people one by one. Then, he commits the unthinkable. Meanwhile, Mallory and the kids reach home. There, she starts briefing them about their journey, as shown at the start of the movie. In the present, it's been 42 hours, and they have finally reached the deadly rapids. Mallory tries her best to navigate through the waves, but the boat capsizes and everyone tumbles out. Fortunately, she is able to grab her kids and reach the shore unharmed. Following this, the three slowly start walking through the woods. The entity also appears in its invisible form and tries to manipulate Mallory and the children into opening their blindfolds. However, they ignore him completely and instead follow the sound of the birds. Soon, they reach a large compound, and Mallory starts banging on the door like a maniac. Fortunately, someone opens it and lets them in, after confirming that they are not infected, of course. Inside, they finally meet Rick, who explains that the compound used to be a school for the blind. That's why the people here were never infected. Dr. Laughlin is also there, who approaches Mallory and congratulates her for having such cute children. She asks their names, and after a bit of thinking, Mallory says Olympia and Atreus, Tom. The movie ends as she opens her bird box and lets out the birds. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.
Look at my score with the deck, by the way, guys. We're 12-1 with this deck. Okay, that's a good draw. Wombat Toaster, thank you as well for priming it up. Feels amazing, man. Less than 3 to you, man. Just one shot him, Thijs. Sure. The nice thing playing against the Priestess, guys, you only have to watch one game and you're already gonna get another drop. No, we drew patch. Oh no, I drew patches. Ooh, I already drew 2 patches, guys. So I have Dredge in my deck, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Finley soon and then I'm gonna Dredge this. How can I Dredge it though? Because the left 3 cards don't let me Dredge. I need to play one of these 3. I mean, that will never happen anymore, though. But we draw Lordamar before these 2, which is most important, right? I mean, we can always just also get the Riff and just hit it, lol. Should I Finley, guys? Because I need better minions to buff. We just draw it, it's fine. I have to Finley this. I can't. I have no option there. Because if I don't buff these 2, I can't win. The problem is I couldn't manage to get it into a dredge spot. Oh, all these 4 manas. Can't play anything this turn. Alright, we might go Rift next turn and then we will see. I mean, against Priest you have all the time. Time is a gift. Guys, look at me. Look what I just did. I got my 9th and 10th pack. I only have the Titan card pack to go now. Look at me going brrr with the packs. 1 pack left. How are you doing, guys? Tell me, how many packs do you have already? I just started 0, 4. Same as you. Just started working on 7, 8. Alright, keep watching, guys. For you, I will stream. I will do an extra long stream today, guys, so you guys can get more packs. Is that a problem? ETC and Priest. Could be a problem. First riff, right? Didn't play a riff yet. Next time we go 4 into 3, we get the riff play again. I'm making another T-chat. Are you gonna stream tomorrow if Semi feels good? Yes, I will be streaming tomorrow. If all is Gucci. These days, guys, from now to upcoming time, I hope maybe not so much yet in the start of July. I will stream whenever I can, but we are now almost 8-month pregnancy, so how days will go is a bit hard to say. It's okay, Thijs. Hey, stay foxy. And I'm a believer, and if I try. Okay, we want to end on a riff, but let's do this. Oh, it doesn't kill much. Why is Priest having a pretty good board? Since when does a Priest care about board?
Worthy or unworthy?
Can do the riff next turn again. Like 4-3-1 or something. Thijs, my wife is also 8 months pregnant, so our babies will be same age. We are expected around 12 August. I'm so excited! I'm gonna be a dad, guys! And not a Twitch dad, but a real life dad. I think I've had the perfect practice, guys. I've been used to Twitch chat, so isn't that the perfect practice for a baby? Ugh. So we can do 4-3 into the riff, which then gets the buff again. And we get 5 attacks. So the riff is very good here. Yeah, I think we do that. That one's pretty good, actually. Plus 1 armor. Definitely doesn't look sus. Boom, 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 boom. We can draw 3 cards, guys. We're not buffing, man. But I do know I will always draw Lordamar before I will draw my Romarnia and Trenchstalker. I do know that. And that is very important info, guys. Because maybe it's even good I don't buff my deck yet, because then he just steals my buffs, right? He's having a lot of armor, by the way. Thijs, thank you for the last drops. For the drop, my drops are done. Nice. Enjoy your drops, man. Enjoy that drops. Maybe I should just actually brawl, guys. It's getting a bit annoying. So this has 5 attack.
Pick me!
I mean, we always have Zilliax as well, but yeah. We got a fork. Another fork. Are we gonna fork this up now or what? Alright, let's ding dong then. I don't have a town minion left, guys. Really? So this is useless. Funny. Just win the brawl, lol. I don't know why people make it so hard. You can just win the brawl. It's so easy. Just win it. Some people make Hearthstone so complicated for no reason. Alright, we literally only have 3 minions left. And they're quite at the bottom still. Thijs, congrats on the baby. I have a little one. 6 days old, Sid. Oh my god, 6 days. You said earlier that the baby will sleep and eat and you will have plenty of time for streaming. I was hoping the same, but the reality is different. There is so much to do in between naps and feeding. I watched your stream for a couple of hours and wasn't able to watch a full game yet. Oh no, oh no. Oh no. No, I was also joking about it, by the way. Boomer chat.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody? Pick me! Pick me!
Pick me, Thijs. Why don't you pick me? Okay, the plan is, guys, to just draw Lordamar first, so I'm a bit careful with drawing the Rift now, because I really don't want to draw Romarnia or Trenchstalker first. But yeah, I don't know, man. Should have maybe picked the draw there with the 3 draw. He's still at 35. He's not playing Viper, right, guys? As long as he doesn't play Viper, we're kind of fine, I think.
Anybody?
That's whatever. It's pretty whatever. Thijs, how does one get packs today? By linking your Battle.net with Twitch. And for watching me 1 hour, you get 2 packs. For watching me 2 hours, you get 4 packs. For watching me 3 hours, you get 6 packs. Infinite, infinite, infinite like that. Draws 4. 4 is not too much, right? Because we draw Black Rock and Roll now first, which is good order. And then we now play this, and then we have big boys. I don't know, do I draw my Romarnia already, guys? I better don't. Riff. 7, armor up, Riff. Can your Asia server get the packs? Yes. That's the second one already, right? Little scary, actually. No more law. Ooh, we already drew it. Yeah, then we have to play it now. I take this, it's fine.
Your blood for the sire! Into ribbons! Make them bleed! Let the music take you! Into ribbons!
Okay, now it's waiting for Trench Stalker. He's not playing Viper, guys. There's no way. I mean, we know the next draw is Brawl, right? So I can always do this still. I'm not in a rush, guys. He actually already had 2 Horsemans dying, man. He's not gonna just draw the 3rd Horseman with 20 cards left, right? That would be insane. That would be completely insane. He main decks Viper. Are you insane? Guys, what happens when the Trench Stalker kills both the Priest and Last Horseman? It either is, I think order matters. I don't know if it can. Might just stop after.
For a master tactician, this is nothing. Off me!
So the Trench Stalker is double the stats, which means 16. First in mana, 17. So it deals 34, guys. So do we trade? Because it just needs to hit face. But we can always brawl, right? We have time. We can just brawl Zilliax into Trench Stalker. Okay. Are we chilling? Guys, I thought you switched because of no